Check. All right, everyone, welcome once again. Whoever is watching this, anytime you're watching it, this is the final review of the book Starts With Why by Simon Sinex. And as we always do when we review a book, we know who the author is. Today is going to be the conclusion of this book. We are going to end this book today. And I'm just going to give my honest review about what stood out for me in this book. And the last chapter was just all about stories. I mean, the same stories he had repeated in the previous chapter. So, who is Simon Sinex? As we always do, is an American, a successful entrepreneur, and also a motivational speaker on business leadership. He talks about business, he talks about leadership, he talks about how one can succeed in leadership. And in this book, one of the things that he embodied, or one of the things he emphasized, is the golden cycle. Let's review the golden cycle quickly. The things that stood out for me in this book, basically, the golden cycle, where he talks about, let's just do a quick search, then we do the celery tests. So the golden cycle, he mentioned that every leader that wants to lead, or that wants to have a long-lasting impact or build a business that succeeds, must start with why. So this is the golden cycle. There must be a why, then there must be a how, and then there must be a what. The why is going to make you succeed. That is why Apple till date always stands out, because the leaders are building with the why. Even while Steve Jobs is gone, while Steve Wozniak is no longer occupying key role, this brand is still great because of the why. They prefer excellence, they prefer top notch. He spoke about Martin Luther King also, why his movement, after talking about the Emancipation Proclamation 100 years later, while he spoke, it was the why that made him stand out as a great leader. So this was just all about what Simon Sinex talks about in this book. So now let's go to the last two chapters. And let me just give a brief explanation of what this chapter is about. Chapter 1, the origin of a why. To be very sincere, it is just all about stories. He recalled all the stories he has been talking about, that which was like the origins, like the beginning, how it started. So he talks about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. He spoke about Martin Luther King, spoke about Henry Ford, all of them. Stories, basically. The new competition, still stories. And my sincere review about this book is just full of whys, man. Full of stories and stories and stories, and letting you see why building with why and building with purpose is the key thing. That is just all about that's just what this book is all about. Starting with why and not starting with what at first, or not starting with trying to make much more profits, right? For instance, there are brands in America that gave their stories. When they started, they were just all about getting money, all about getting customers. Talks about Southwest. Yes, Southwest Airline is one of the airlines. It talks about the example at the point. Let's just do that quick search while we end. At the beginning, according to him, Southwest Airlines wasn't airlines were very expensive in the United States. So Southwest Airlines started because they wanted it to be they wanted flight to be accessible to the average citizen. So that was a very strong why that was going to stand the test of time. So even if he was dead, the why was still very strong, right? And because the why was still very strong, not dead. I don't think the founder is dead. Sorry for that. That's Hap Kelhe. Should still be alive. Oh, he passed away 2019. Yeah, sorry about that. I know I read something like that in 2019 in the book. So even while he was dead, his book. I don't think I read that in the book. When was that with why written? Yeah, he had not died at the time the book was written. So he gave several. You need to know that this book is full of stories, stories and stories and stories and stories. So stories about leaders, and that's how the chapters ended. Origins of why, and why you should start with why. That is what is going to make you stand out. So the next book we are going to review is going to be The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. Get ready. The book is a very big book. I'm going to start it as soon as possible so that I can review it. And it was written it was written centuries ago, actually. I think 17 something or so. Yeah, it was originally published 1776. So it carries a great wisdom. We are going to review it together. The Wealth of Nation by Adam Smith. I know the book is actually so much of has so much pages. I think about, yes, 1,000 pages actually. The books I've been reviewing recently are just 300 pages, worst case 500 pages, but these 1,000 pages, and the fonts are very, very, very tiny. So let's get ready for this book together. We're going to patiently look through it. We're going to patiently break it down to understand it. Thank you so much. See you in the next book review episode. I was meant to show you this. I thought I was displaying this, please. So this is the book, The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. Thank you for joining in. And I also gave a view Southwest Airline. When I was doing the search, I thought I was actually displaying the screen. Southwest Airline. This is the founder that is late. This is found Southwest Airlines founder that is late. And this is Southwest Airline that I was explaining earlier. Yeah. Thank you so much and have a great time till we meet again in the next episode.